Good morning. This is a 2015 Retro 155 XL, and this is going to be a little video, or hopefully a few things put together into one space, about the furnace heater in this thing. Mine stopped working, slowly stopped working, and then completely stopped working about 4 or 5 days ago. It's winter, it's January, New Mexico, 7,000 feet, so cold, and especially at night. It's definitely way below freezing at night. So it's a big deal. I looked online and it's amazing actually how little there is that's specific to either these vehicles or the Suburban furnace that I have inside. And so I went through Google, AI, Reddit, Facebook, friends, local RV supply shops, and a local RV handyman, repairman, and finally fixed it yesterday. So I kind of wanted to, this is just an introduction. I'll put together the pieces as I went through it so you can see kind of more the experiential. But basically, I wanted to show you it's specific to this vehicle in case anyone has a Retro and has a Suburban heater. So the first thing that went out was this, the thermostat. And I'll show you inside. Actually, I think I have another video inside, but it stopped working. And the way you tested it, there's two wires that come out on this side. There we go. Yes, this side. And this is the manual switch on and off. If you probably know that, and you probably had that in your own. And the way to test it, to see if the thermostat was the cause of the system not turning on and sending hot power, was these two wires. You'll see in a bit. You take them, you unhook them from the little screws, and you just touch them together. If they touch together and the furnace fan blower starts turning on, then this is at least part of the problem. So that's one of the things to change out. And it was really easy. It was unhooking the two wires, unscrewing it, pulling it out, and replacing it. The only tools I've needed for this whole project are the two different kinds of screwdrivers that I have. This, and then just a little crescent wrench for hooking and unhooking the propane to the furnace heater, the housing. So there you go. We're going to do this. And this was the other part of the problem, which I might as well give you the heads up now. It's called an igniter. And you'll see in some of the photos that it fits in the bottom like this. So it's two screws and a wire. And this is what ignites it, right? And so for me, the situation was these two things. We didn't know that until yesterday, so we had a couple of days where we took everything out, cleaned everything, checked the sail switch and all of that stuff to try and brainstorming, right? We're just brainstorming, working our way down the system. So for me, it was the thermostat, a Suburban thermostat, and an igniter. And I'll put the details in the words below. All right, so here you go. 2015 Retro 155 XL, and I might as well go straight in and start here. And this is the furnace heater. And to access it, you have to go through, there's two screws here, and that will take the cover off. And you're also coming through the chair, and you can see it. And there you can see it. And you can see all the propane, the wires, what has to be disconnected. All of these have to be disconnected. And when you take this cover off, you'll see there's a couple of screws at the bottom that hold it in place. You take those screws off, and then this whole thing will pull out, and you'll put it outside on the table and work on it outside. So there you go. That's the actual furnace heater. The blower, sail switch, igniter, everything is in there. And the other part of the system is this. This is the new one. And let's test it. Comes on. Can you hear that? The happy sound of the blower. And you have to trust me on this. It's kicking out warm air. Success. All right. We'll go back to the other. Good morning, January morning, winter, cold, and this is a Riverside Retro 155 XL. My thermostat, or rather my furnace, stopped working 2 nights ago, and it is way below freezing at night, so it's not fun. I'm taking things apart today, and I'm going to do like a little series and hopefully put these together of how to, from what I find, get in and check the furnace. This, I believe, I have been told, is where I need to dive in and pull everything out and clean it and check everything is doing what it's meant to do. So that is stage 2. Stage 1 was checking the thermostat, that the problem is not with this. And so the information I got online was to take the cover off. As you see, when I move the temperature, nothing happens, doesn't even click on. But if I touch the 2 pieces, the wires together, can you hear that? The fan comes on, and it will stay on for about 30 seconds, and then it shuts itself off, and the fan is only blowing out cold air. So that apparently says it is not the thermostat, but that it is quite likely something called the sail switch, which is buried in there. Okay, phase 1 done. Part 2. Took the seat apart so that now I can see, this was the furnace I was showing you, and this is what it looks like from the top. I had read, someone had told me, this is the propane, and inside there is a fixture that I need to unhook so that this, once I unscrew it from the bottom, apparently I can slide it forward and hopefully access things. So we'll see. And notice that this is the hot water heater, and apparently I have had mice. I don't think recently, but I'm going to clean that up whilst I'm here. So there you go. Okay, so the next phase was I unhooked the propane outside and I let it run the lines empty at the stove, and then I undid this, which is a little flange thing, and I just use a crescent wrench for that. So that turned off any kind of propane coming in, and then there were 2 little screws at the bottom that kept this inside the seat. So I've untaken those screws and pulled it forward, and now I'm gonna see if that actually helps me get to anything on the inside. I'm not sure. So this is what we have inside, and I can't really get to anything, even though I've moved this out further, because the actual box seems to be a solid box. And yeah, I don't know how to get to that stuff.
So I'll have to probably pull this guy off too.
Okay, last section. Hopefully we have put it back in, so it's under the seat, everything is hooked up. In theory, you put in new crimps down here. I don't know if you can see these little blue ones, so that the idea is that if I have to, or I will at some point, I can disconnect them and they reconnect. They're that kind of crimp, which is great. And we did the propane is hooked back up and turned back on. We tested the power to everything. We used the thermostat, which is still open and exposed, and turned it on. Air blowed out for a while. This is Teddy, by the way, he's helping. Hi Teddy, thank you. It blowed out and it kept going longer than it had beforehand, but the air was still cold. So not sure what's next. It could be that it's a warmer day, it's around 50 degrees, so the thermostat It might just not want to kick out warm air in this. We don't know. We're going to keep it exposed overnight and check it overnight and see how it works. And worst case scenario, at least I know how to pull it out and replace things and take it to the next level. So there we go. That was the update. Hey, so a little update. It was the igniter and the thermostat both. The original information I had about that test with the thermostat of putting the wires together, and if it worked then, I had been told that that meant the thermostat was fine, but talking to the RV guy and his supply shop in Santa Fe, they said it's the opposite. So the thermostat was definitely part of the problem. I replaced that, and also he got me, after I told Matt, the repair fella, all the different steps we'd gone through about the cell switch and checking power here, there and everywhere and blah blah and cleaning everything. He said it was likely the next thing to test and or just simply replace, because the unit was 10 years old, is 10 years old at this point, and he's like, if you're in there you might as well replace it. So that's when I replaced the igniter that you saw in that little picture. And also so we did the thermostat, the igniter, everything was cleaned the sail switch, checked all the power, put it back in, and it works. So good timing, because you'll see in the next photo what it was like afterwards. Okay, so anyways, thanks for sticking. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions or you need any resources or anything, and we'll take it from there. Thanks. See ya.